welcome to September's Where Are They Now? This month, it's back to 2012 again. I have printed out the description box. Thank God I did that way back then. That saved me a lot of time 4 years later. Who would have thunk it? I'm so glad this is starting to catch on with more people. Michelle of 1218 just did one not too long ago. I'll put hers in there. If you don't already watch Michelle, she's awesome, and you should change that right now and subscribe. All right, let's hop into it. So if you're not familiar with how this goes, I revisit my favorites from the same month as right now, just 4 years back. And so like I said, we're looking at favorites from September 2012. And we'll see if they're still around, and if not, what I'm using in their place. So one of the first things was this face brush, which obviously I still have. It's the Sigma F25, and I picked this up to put on blush, which I think is hysterical because I think it is way too big for a blush brush. It's even too big for tapering for me. I don't have the largest of heads. So I used it today to do bronzer. And because when you put it, it has a nice point, but when you get it on your face and you put even the tiniest of pressure, it, splays out and gives you a lot more surface area. So for me, I like to use this for bronzer and to blend out contour, which I used a new contour palette, and you will hear about it in September favorites. I am loving it. Okay, next was the Revlon Age Defying Spot Concealer. Of course it was a favorite, and of course, what does Revlon do? They discontinue it. It is gone. My favorite drugstore concealer of the moment, actually it hasn't been of the moment, it's been around in my favorite list for a long time, is the collection. It used to be the Collection 2000 Lasting Finish Concealer. Now it's just, they dropped 2000. So now it's Collection Lasting Finish Concealer. This is, I don't know, my third or fourth tube. It used to be very difficult to get these. Now, thanks to the wonders of the internet, you can easily get this if you live on this side of the pond. This is a British brand, so I will put the link below to where I order it from. I also have a dear friend, Michaela, also known as Miss Budget Beauty, over on YouTube, and she sent me a couple of tubes as well. Thanks, Michaela. And I love this under the eyes. It's very brightening for those of you with fair skin. It's always challenging to find a concealer that is light enough to actually be brightening, and it doesn't cake under my old, sad, baggy eyes. So it's great, and it's a really good price. Still use it. What am I saying? Still use it. So yeah, Revlon gone, this one in. Next, Clinique Bottom Lash Mascara. Oops, forgot to grab what's replaced it. So I used many, I went through, I don't know, 2, 3, 4 tubes of it. It was adorable. It was a teeny, teeny, tiny little wand. Now, since really I try very hard to find a mascara that's on the top lash that doesn't smear or smudge, whatever mascara of the moment I'm using on my top lash that fits that bill, I just put it on my bottom lash. I have become too lazy, and I'm already using way too many products to add one more just for the bottom lashes. That's it. Okay, Maybelline Limited Edition Lipstick in Tenacious Taupe. So here's the slightly gross part. It's limited edition, meaning it's no longer available. That video is 4 years old. Here it is, Tenacious Taupe. Here it is on my lips. Yeah, I'm wearing a 4-year-old lipstick. It's probably a big no-no. No, it doesn't smell off, and strangely enough, went on much creamier than when it went on 4 years ago. I'm not a huge fan of this particular color. It is like, brown. I know it's all the rage. It's definitely a more wearable brown than the Kylie Jenner brown lip, but it's not my thing. I don't know what I was thinking 4 years ago. Go back and watch the original video that's in the description box. I don't like it. On me personally. I guess I did, but I don't anymore. If I'm gonna wear a more nude tone, I definitely like some pink undertones in there just to warm things up. I think makeup should enhance, and this is not doing it's doing nothing for me. So there you go. I don't know. I have no recommendations as a replacement for this. Like, ugh, no. Okay, Benefit Hoola Bronzer. Now this was funny. I raved about this, obviously was a favorite, and I said the only thing it's missing is the scent of chocolate. This, of course, is the Too Faced bronzer, the Milk Chocolate Soleil Bronzer, Light Medium Matte Bronzer, which happens to have the scent of chocolate in it, and I am wearing it today, and it is lovely and wonderful, and you all, if you've watched me for a long time, know that I have a deep and enduring love for this. And I've only gone through 2, maybe 3 of these. They do last quite a long time, and I love them. Love it. Have it on right now as my bronzer, not my contour. Next on the list was the Walking on Eggshells trio, eyeshadow trio from Wet n Wild, and this is my 3rd version of it, and I'm wearing it today. I cheated a little because the only thing this is missing, well, this would be ideal as a 5 palette. So if I were to redesign this and re-release it with 5 shades, I would keep these original shades. I would release this brow bone shade in a matte version as well, and I would release this mid-tone shimmer shade in a matte tone. So I still wear this all the time. This is a great palette, especially if you're getting into makeup and just kind of dipping your toe into the waters of makeup. No matter how old you are, if you're afraid of a little shimmer on the lid or whatever, I still think you need this palette in your life. Just pair it with this drugstore quad. This is the Physicians Formula Classic Nudes. As you can see, all mattes, and that's how I kind of balanced it out a little bit. I used the brow bone, this lightest shade, as my brow bone, and I used the darker brown tone here as my crease shade first. So, and then kind of put that mid-tone shimmery shade in the outer corner. So yeah, this works great. These 2 paired together also makes a really nice little gift for somebody, like a high school student or just a girlfriend who's wanting to play with makeup. Then on my nails, I had Tony from Zoya. My love for Zoya has not gone anywhere. It has just increased. And it's kind of funny. So they released Zoya Tony, and then not too long after that, they released Zoya Marnie, named for me. And it's a very similar shade. And then they just recently released their fall collection, which I haven't reviewed yet. I'm wearing one of them right now. This is Zoya Terra, very similar to Zoya Tony. And I'm about to go get my nails done, and I'm going to be putting on, oh, this is Zoya Terra. And so yeah, very similar fall shades. And I raved back then about how much I loved the autumn collection, and I have to say they did it again. I think their fall shades, I'm partial to those deep tone matte shades or cream shades that they tend to put out in the fall. So Zoya, you did it again, and there will be a Zoya review video. It might be a bonus video because not everyone loves watching just a dedicated Zoya video, so I may put it on a non-regular day, but it's coming, I promise. Okay, then I talked OPI Nail Envy because I took my acrylics off and I was trying to grow my nails out. I have my acrylics back on, so not using OPI Nail Envy really wouldn't do anything. I do have my natural toenails, but I've never heard of anyone trying to grow their toenails out. So I'm not using it. That would be strange. Then I talked about 2 things. I talked about Rachel Wade, a makeup artist on YouTube who is no longer making videos, which is a great loss to the YouTube community. She was very talented. And she talked about a brush cleaner called the Masters Brush Cleaner and Preserver, which is actually an artist's brush cleaner, not a makeup artist, like a painting artist. I used it and I really liked it. But since then, I have really come to love, and I have bought, I think, 3 of these now. The BeautyBlender, the company that makes BeautyBlender, the Blender Cleanser Solid Cleanser. Sorry, sunlight, it's very bright, it's early in the morning. You can't see, it's very bright. Anyway, it's the same concept. It's a solid cleanser. It's solid white. I know you can't see this, but take my word for it. And it's the same concept. You get it a little wet, and then you just swirl your brush in it, and and then you rinse your brush off, and it gets all the stuff. That's the technical term. That's what's on your brush, stuff, off. And which reminds me, I really need to clean my brushes. They are way, way overdue. And I just like that this, there is a Sephora version of this, and I've tried it, but the Sephora version to me leaves a residue on my brushes, and this does not. And the price difference is so negligible that I prefer this one. So I raved about, back then, this had just come out, the Lorac Pro palette, the original one. We are now onto version 3. And this is still, you know, pretty much an amazing palette. Now I'm getting a little pickier. I really do not reach for this. It's crazy. I know how much I loved it back then, and there's still some really beautiful shades in this palette, but now I feel like it's missing those matte transitional shades. Like there's some great light shades in this palette, there's some great dark shades, but in those mid-tone ranges, there's nothing for me personally in here, which to me makes it a slightly incomplete palette. The metallic shades are really pretty though. It's great. As with all Lorac palettes, there's a lot of fallout, so when you use this palette, just tap out your brush a lot before you apply to the face. And you'll hear about the newest version, the Lorac Pro 3, coming up later this month, and what I think of it. The shades themselves are quite beautiful, but is it worth purchasing, or other new releases that are a better option? Wait and see. They're very pretty though. I do prefer these colors to what they're showcasing in the original. But is it still the best option? You'll have to stay tuned. That's it. Like I said, it's early in the morning. Okay, 2 more things that I had mentioned back then. The Glade candle in Cashmere Woods, it was obviously a fall release in 2012. They have a new release, which I'm sure won't stick around because Glade never keeps my favorite ones. And I don't know the name of it because I peeled the label off and they don't put it on the bottom. But I'll put it in the description box. I've raved about this, I think, in a vlog. Okay, this is part of their new fall release and it smells like a diptyque candle. I mean, this thing smells like a $50 candle. It's not, it's like a $5 candle. And it's really, really good. And I think of all Glade seasonal releases, their fall ones are always the best. Oh, it's amazing. Okay, yeah, if you like sexy, warm, this is nothing like pumpkin or anything like that. It's just sexy and warm, and it's not amber, but it's in that family. Yeah, you're gonna see this again in September favorites. I'm just warning you now. It's amazing. Okay. And then we have, lastly, I mentioned my friend Katie Apperson had an Etsy store and she made these tri-color metal leather wrap, try saying this quickly, tri-metal leather wrap bracelets. And you know, the idea is you wrap it around and then it has a button and it fastens and you wear it. And I wore it all the time. I can't actually get it on, apparently. Okay, so I wore it all the time. I loved it. And then, as I do with all things, I moved on to the next shiny pretty thing. Katie no longer, she doesn't make these anymore. I don't think she's doing, she got a job and then she moved on to other things as well. But I still have it. It's held up all these years quite well. And, but yeah, I'm not really wearing much in the way of bracelets. I just wear my David Yurman cuff every day. And that's the only one that is a constant in my life. I'm always switching out the costume stuff. So those are my favorites from September of 2012. I am grateful for those of you that have stuck around all those years. And to those of you who have joined me since then, thanks for subscribing to my channel. I'm really, really glad you're here. And I hope you're around 4 years from now when we revisit what I liked in September of 2016. I hope I'm still around 4 years from now. If you want to know what my favorites are going to be for September of 2016, be sure you're subscribed to this channel so we can all find out together in a few weeks. As always, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to leave your comments down below. I answer all the questions that I can, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye. I was sent a whole pile of stuff from Urban Decay. It's part of their new fall and holiday collection. This is gonna be a lot of information thrown at you, so sit down, get comfortable.